Welcome to chapter 54 of Audio Hieroglyphics of a Milky Skinned Gent. Does that even make sense? Audio hieroglyphics. Well, it does, because hieroglyphics are cave drawings done by Egyptians on walls which tell stories, so technically this is an audio version of my life story, which is a memoir. It makes sense. I'm a genius. Look at me and just pat myself on the back because I thought of a big word. Hieroglyphics. Oh, not really I thought of a big word. I just understood it and I comprehended it enough to use it in a sentence. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. What a good start to the podcast. Now, this week, believe it or not, I have absolutely nothing to complain about. Nothing pissed me off all week. Not even I believe myself. Surely there's nothing pissed me off. And things probably should have made me mad and maybe would have made me mad last week. I don't know. I've just had a good week. Nothing's okay, for example, I got caught laughing by myself taking a piss this week. Someone walked in on me and I was uncontrollably laughing in a public toilet by myself and I didn't care. Usually that would piss me off. I look like a dickhead. I just thought it was funny. I just started laughing more. So what happened was, is this even worth talking about? Yeah, whatever. I mean, the standard on this podcast doesn't have to be high, the content that I bring. So, I think Lewis was filming me walking into the toilet at a building that we're in, and I thought, so he filmed me going into the toilet on Snapchat as a joke. I forget why. I don't think there was a reason why. So then I started going to the toilet. Then about 30 seconds later, the door started squeaking open really slowly. And I thought, oh, here we go again. It's Lewis filming me. So I just started laughing, but I didn't look at the door because I was just 100% certain it was definitely going to be Lewis. So I'm mid-piss, and then I start cracking myself laughing because I was like, man, as if he's come in to film me taking a piss. That's real lowbrow Snapchat content. I just start losing it, and then some random I've never seen before, just a stranger, walks in. He stops at the door and he stares at me because I am pissing myself laughing. He looks around the toilet to see what I'm laughing at or who I'm laughing with. He then realizes that there's no one else in the toilet and I'm standing there having a piss and laughing uncontrollably at myself. And usually, last week, that would have probably pissed me off. I'd be like, look like such a dickhead. I'm an idiot. Nothing's getting to me this week. I'm just a new man. I'm just thick-skinned. Or I'm just slowly starting to truly not give a fuck. I thought I didn't give a fuck before, but now I'm just at, really sad, depressing levels where it's man, actually have some respect for yourself and start caring more about what people think about you. Because this happened, I can't really talk about it in too much detail because it happened at the place where I've been working on a new project. It's going to be announced on Thursday. I know I keep bringing up this thing on the podcast that I'm not allowed to talk about, but next week on the podcast, I will be able to talk about it, and I'm super excited. You guys will find out about it on Thursday. That's when I'm announcing it on all my social medias and stuff. I personally think this is the biggest thing I've ever announced in my career. So I hope you guys are excited about it. I'm definitely excited about it. This has been happening for months. I think it started before I went to Fiji behind the scenes. And which is not too long ago considering how big it is. But yeah, I've been working day and night, and I've been working with someone else day and night to make this happen. And we're both really excited to announce it together. And anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. You guys will hear about it Thursday. So we're at this place working on our new thing, and this has nothing to do with the thing. I was there, and I got caught. This is how much I don't give a fuck. I got caught pretending to take a selfie by someone who may be my new boss, and I didn't even correct them. I was ironically doing a joke, pretending to be that guy who'd take a selfie in this particular situation. And I was pouting and doing a duck face and sticking my ass out. And she just walks past, she clocks us and she goes, oh, sorry, I didn't want to get in the back of your photo. And instead of going, oh no, I was joking, I wasn't actually doing that, that would be incredibly lame, please don't think that of me. I just went, that's alright, you can be in it. I could have corrected her just so easy and be like, oh, this was a joke. And she would have been like, oh, right. Because, yeah, that would be not cool of you to take a selfie in this situation. And I just kind of, I don't know. I didn't care. The thought came through my mind like, wow, you should really tell her that this was a joke because she may be a new boss and she's going to judge you forever. This is not a great first impression. But I went, but wouldn't it be funny, though, if she actually thought I was being serious and I never told her? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I really need to start caring more because I've never really been in that kind of I've never really been in a workplace environment that I care what people think of me. Because I've only ever had a job at the golf club. I still work there, by the way. I think people forget that I still work there. Like, people are like, man, you don't make enough content. I still have a job. Alright, so I'm working on getting out of it, maybe with this new project thing, but until then, I'm still stuck speaking to old dudes still making lame jokes at me. It never ends, really, and it's getting busy again at the golf club because it's summer now, so really looking for a ticket out of there. But yeah, I just don't care what people think of me there, because again, it's not what I want to do with my career. I'm there to get paid. Like, if they didn't pay me, I wouldn't be there. But say if they didn't pay me at this new thing, I would probably still rock up because I just really want to be there, and I do honestly care what people think of me, just not enough to correct them when they think I'm taking a genuine selfie. In a situation that really I shouldn't have even had my phone out, probably. Anyway, let's talk about something else. What did I actually want to talk about? Oh yeah, okay, so I found out today that apparently on Saturday the world was supposed to end. Like, we're not even supposed to be here right now. People predicted the end of the world on Saturday the 23rd of September 2017, and I hate to break it to you, to all those people, but it's currently Monday the 25th, and I'm looking outside and I can't see an apocalypse happening. It's a bit cloudy. I don't think that means there's a meteor coming or a planet going to crash into ours. I just think it means it's going to rain later. So, yeah, I mean, to all those people who did predict it, bad luck. But you know what? I never get the thing, like all those nutters who are adamant every time, like, no, this one, we've got evidence, the world's going to end, it's going to happen. You know, people think we're crazy. People think you're crazy because you've been proven wrong again and again and again. Like, do you feel like a goose waking up on Sunday morning and nothing's happened? You would feel like a bit of a goose. Like, surely Sunday morning you check yourself into a psych ward and be like, all right, it's time. I need to stop proclaiming big shit online. Like, even NASA came out and were like, we don't know what they're talking about. So the reason why they thought the world was going to end, people thought there was a planet called Nibiru or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Again, I pronounce Peugeot, Pugot, Phoebe, Phoebe. So I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's spelt Nibiru. So I'm going to go with Nibiru. I don't know, whatever. There was a planet called Nibiru that was supposed to crash into Earth, and apparently NASA have never heard of it or seen it. I always think it's so ambitious when people like argue against science and like multi-million-dollar corporations that they have one job. Like, NASA's one job is like, well, if there's a meteor coming, just tell us, yeah? And people from NASA are like, yep, will do. We don't do a lot anyway. We haven't done a lot since we send blokes to the moon. What did NASA do? Do they just rock up and, like, reminisce about how they faked the moon landing? Nah, again, now I sound like a nutter. I don't have an opinion on that one. I've watched some documentary in grade 5 that convinced me for like a week that they faked the moon landing. But then I just felt so stupid for believing one thing I saw. So I stopped telling people that I think they faked the moon landing. Even though there's like 5% of me that's like, it's possible. You know, the Chili Peppers wrote that line in like a song. Like, they made something in a Hollywood basement. It's in Californication. Anyway. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the people who argue against NASA. Like, they get on the internet and are adamant that they're right. You're like, dude, there's $1 billion telescope looking up at the sky, looking for this fictional planet, Nibiru. It's never heard of it. People have never seen it. Alright? But then you get these random people who are like, nah, I went on a Reddit forum once and I'm pretty convinced that shit was legit. Like, how cooked do you have to be to just read something on the internet and be like, we're fucked, everyone pack up, we're gone. Like, although it's just started to rain outside, so I'm trying to argue against these people, but maybe they were just 2 days late on the end of the world. It's getting a bit windy. Does that mean the world's gonna end? If anything, it means a branch will fall down, but the rest of the world will probably be fine. Anyway, I started reading this article about it, right? Because I was like, oh man, like, I can't believe I missed this, that the fact that the world wasn't going to end. And apparently it was like, you know that in 2012, like, they made a movie about it, that they also thought the world was going to end? That was based off no scientific research. That was just, the Mayan calendar finished. So, some dude made a calendar and it ended. So, the format that they made, like, of 12-12-12, it ended on, like, December 21st, 2012 or some shit. And then that's all they really planned to, because they were an ancient civilization. I don't think they were planning on kicking around in 2012, which they weren't, by the way. So, good on them. Whoever made that calendar, it was a foolproof plan. It outlasted them, their calendar. So they did a great job. And then people these days read way too into shit that they read online. And then other people freak out because, like, someone else said it was the end of the world. Is it the end of the world? Man, I just love reading those, like, nutter forums on the internet. I got speaking to this guy who's, like, full-on into conspiracies the other day. And, like, here's the thing. Whenever I talk to someone about this shit, because I'm, like, interested in it, but not, like, interested in it to a point where I actually have an opinion or care. I'm interested in all this conspiracy stuff to the point where I think it's funny and it might give me something to talk about on the podcast. Like, I just do it for entertainment because, you know, I was just bored at the time. So this guy starts telling me, he's a friend of mine, but, like, I've never seen him in this light before. Like, you can look at someone differently as soon as they start reeling off shit about 9/11 and, like, Area 51 and secret societies control the world. Like, bro, we know nothing, man. We're all just robots in a system. Like, as soon as, like, someone starts saying that shit to me, I just, like, oh, you're that guy. And then you just slowly start wading back. And then you get in your car and you drive the fuck away. So this guy, I was pretty bored of that. So I was like, oh, hear him out. So he starts telling me about, like, that chemtrail theory. So if you don't know that one, it's, you know, like, you see airplanes in the sky. And then about 10 seconds after them, as they go past, they might leave, like, you see faint white exhaust lines in the air, and they're called chemtrails. Like, they leave behind a trail of white exhaust as planes fly by. Well, the theory is that those chemtrails are just, like, the government's putting chemicals in the exhaust, and they're slowly just polluting the earth just from airplanes, and it's making us all die younger. It's making us all sick. So so the hospitals keep making money and the system keeps turning, and it's about population control, and it makes people die younger than we actually would. That's the theory in, like, a broad nutshell. Obviously people have, I think some people have done research that but I think the research is just no exhaust is good to breathe in. Like, if you went up to a car and put your mouth over the exhaust and turned it on, you'd fucking die. Like, because the way we've made engines, it's not clean yet. Like, so an airplane engine is obviously going to have filthy exhaust because it's powering an airplane. I don't think it's a conspiracy the government's into. I just think we haven't invented a better system to run a plane yet. But but he starts telling me all the shit. He's like, bro, like, it's so obvious. Like, obviously they found a cure for cancer yet. They just haven't released it. They don't want us to know. There's a few people who know the cure, so they get cured. And I'm like, okay, great. So the government's polluting the air. It's trying to kill us all. They found a cure for cancer, but they don't want us to have it. Cool. So what are you going to do about it? And the other person always just goes, oh, well, like, look, nothing, man. There's nothing you can do. I'm like, cool. So why the fuck do you watch so many Netflix documentaries about it then? Do better shit with your life. That's like the one thing. If anyone's going on about conspiracy theories to you, just be like, cool. Even if that's true, what are you going to do? And they're like, oh, you know, like there's nothing you really can do, bro. We're all just like a serial number, man. They don't care about us. You're like, yeah, they don't. If what you're saying is true, let's go by what you're saying is we're all robots, we're in a system, blah, blah, blah. Why are you trying to like, you know, preach against the system then? Just like, what does it achieve? If you know that you literally can't achieve anything, that's why I don't care. Like, even if I did believe that they've found a cure for cancer already, which is plausible, who's to say they have, who's to say they haven't, and they don't want to give it to us, there's not a lot I can do unless I get to a position of president. Like, and also I've got so much heinous shit online that I've said, I can't be president now. I can't even be like my local MP with all the shit I've said online. So I'm not going to come out here and change the world, alright? And neither are you. Like, we were talking about this at a part-time job, and I'm like, mate, we're both on $20 an hour, and you're telling me that you're sick of being part of a capitalist society where secret families control all the world's wealth. And I'm like, you are so far in the system. We are being underpaid and exploited technically just being here. And you're trying to tell me that it's wrong. I'm like, I know it's wrong. I'm here. I'm at a part-time job. I'm hating my life. I'm not speaking bad against the guy who told me this. I really like him. He's such a nice guy. It was just funny. I love it when people just tell me about all this shit. And it just makes me laugh. That some people get a real kick out of researching. And I think they just get a kick of like, oh man, my knowledge is power, bro. Like the government doesn't know, but I know what they're up to. The government doesn't care what some 20-year-old bloke from the northern suburbs thinks about their chemtrail scheme. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, so today on the podcast, I thought we'd have a bit of fun. Okay, not a bit. I'm talking mega amounts of fun. Like, you have no idea the amount of fun we're about to have. So, if you're part of the Facebook group, you definitely do. But I just thought, this week, I've been having a fun week. You know, I've got the really exciting thing coming out Thursday. I've been working on it for months. I'm super pumped about it. I've done a bunch of other fun shit this week. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's continue the fun. Let's not stop it here. Let's have the first ever Fun Factathon. Look at that. We've already got party horns. And it hasn't even started yet. God damn, this is going to be fun. So, if you've never been part of any type of thon before, whether it's a marathon or a telethon or a fun factathon or what other thons are there? There's at my primary school we used to have a walkathon where everyone used to walk and raise money for charity. So all these thons usually, except for marathons, usually raise money. Like telethons, you know, there's the Royal Children's Hospital appeal, great cause, raises money, you know. And I was like, man, so if we're going to have a fun factathon, I've got to be putting my money towards a good cause. So I've generously decided that for every fun fact read today in today's Fun Factathon, I will put $1 towards my next iPhone. I know, patting myself on the back once again. See, most people wouldn't be this charitable on a podcast, would they? I mean, look, yes, we've raised money for charity before, but this one's a self-indulgent charity. You guys don't have to do anything. You guys have already supplied some fun facts. The reason I'm doing this Fun Factathon is because I was inundated with fun facts. I was hitting capacity. My emails were clogged with a hell of a lot of fun, and I was like, man, I need to get all these facts out at once. And I just thought, Fun Factathon, you know, I just got a new iPhone, but the road to the iPhone X starts now. So for every fun fact that I read, $1 will go towards my bank account. Or I'll designate that dollar to go towards my next iPhone. I'm bloody pumped about it. Here's the thing with the new iPhone, by the way. Did you know they skipped one? So they announced the new iPhone, and they announced the new iPhone 8, because currently the current iPhone is iPhone 7. And then they announced an iPhone 8, and then they skipped 9. They announced 2 phones and went to 10. It's called an iPhone X. So they skip 9. So unless I think they're going to go back and do 9 just as like I don't know, for some bullshit money-making reason. Between the 8 and the 10, they'll release the 9. I bet you they will. Anyway, so Apple are doing weird shit again to make money. And now there's not even a home button. So there was no headphone jack on the 7, and now they've took away the only button on the screen, and now the whole phone is a screen. So if you weren't inconvenienced enough already, now you don't even have a button to open your phone. So I'm looking forward to saving up for that. And you know what? I don't really want to buy it, and that's why I need your guys' help. So the Fun Factathon, I'm not going to start the Fun Factathon yet because there was some interesting facts I've had, right? These weren't necessarily fun facts, but I thought, you know what? They interested me. They might interest you guys. So before we start the Fun Factathon, let's just get ready with a few interesting facts. This is from Zach. Thank you very much, Zach. This is a good one. Sea cucumbers shit out sand. So I didn't know that. And that's actually really informative. So, well, wait. Sea cucumbers those things that when you squeeze them, it looks like they're having a cum? Is that what shitting out sand is? Wait, that means sea cucumbers eat sand if they shit it out. Because, like, I could technically also shit out sand, but I just don't munch on it a lot. I don't go to the beach and snack on it. I usually bring snacks to the beach. And Zach was kind enough to supply us with 2 facts. Again, none of them fun, but both very interesting. This one is quite informative, and there's no way I can dispute this fact. It is 100% true. He said, for every 60 seconds that passes in Africa, 1 minute goes by in Australia. And I can't refute that, Zach. So, good fact. It's absolutely spot on down to the millisecond. And yeah, so right now, that took me about 10 seconds to read that fact, which is a 1/6 of a minute. And that means 10 seconds also passed in Africa as I was reading that fact. Interesting stuff, Zach. Here's the last interesting fact before we get on to the fun. This one comes in from Riley. This was almost a fun fact, but I just thought, not fun enough. More of a party fact, not one to bring out when the party gets fun. More of a dinner fact. You could drop it probably over dinner tonight with your parents. Actually, maybe go out and drop this over dinner tonight, and you could probably test the fact at the dinner table. It'd be quite appropriate. So this one is your lips. It's from Riley. Your lips are the same color as the tip of your penis. So what's happening right now is girls are going, didn't know that. And girl might be looking at a guy right now on the bus or in her classroom, and you look at his lips and you'll be like, that's the color of the tip of his dick. Interesting. And all the guys right now are just checking. They're just going, looking down, going, oh shit. They look at themselves in the mirror. And look, I don't know, I haven't checked it yet. It feels wrong to check it live on the podcast. I'll probably check that fact later. Yeah, I'm not going to check it now. It just feels inappropriate. But yeah, it's definitely one you could probably check at the dinner table. Bring it up in front of the parents. You and Dad can compare, high five. Just whatever you're into. I'm not going to judge what your family rituals are. Some families, no TV while dinner. And some families might be like, no comparing dicks. But, whatever your family's into. So, yeah, thank you very much for that interesting fact, Riley. And let's get on to the fun ones now. Woohoo! Damn. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I've got a few various horn noises, so, play between the facts, because, it's a party, it's a fun factathon. We don't want to have the same horn over and over. There's going to be a hell of a lot of fun facts dropping. Now, from here on, every fact represents $1 that I'm going to put to the next iPhone. The road to the iPhone X starts here. I'm pumped about it. Let's do this. This first one comes in from Jordan. He said, Raman Atragivitia. Oh, God, I pronounced that so wrong. I'm going to have another go. It's a name. Raman Artagavitia. That's as well as I'm going to do it. Raman Artagavitia was one of the only 65 passengers who survived the fire and sinking of the ship America in 1871. The mental trauma gave him nightmares for the rest of his life, and kept him off ships for 40 years, until April 10th, 1912, when he decided to visit the US and boarded the Titanic. Very, very fun. So if you didn't get what happened there, the Raman guy survived, was the only one of 65 people to survive a sinking ship in America in 1871. He experienced mental trauma from this incident that happened that made him, he didn't want to go on a boat for 40 years, and he eventually mustered up the courage 40 years later to finally get on a boat again. He boarded the Titanic, and as we all know, that didn't end very well. So, very fun fact. Sound the fun fact horn! So when Jordan sent me this fact, right, I just didn't process that the Titanic sunk. And I said, yeah, good fact, but it has a pretty happy end. And he said, what? Happy ending, as in he finally got to die. The Titanic sank, bruz. And I just went, oh, fuck, I'm an idiot. Yeah, good fact. I did forget. I was like, oh, that's not very fun. Like, the first bit about experiencing mental trauma, that was pretty fun. But, you know, he survived, so I was like, whatever. And then he got to go on a cool boat like the Titanic. Not a very fun fact. Did forget how that one ended up for everyone who went on that boat. All right, that's $1 now towards my new iPhone. I'm pretty much almost there. Give me, like, I just need to read 2,000 more fun facts. The next fun fact, let's get through these pretty quick now, is from Andy Haywood. Fun fact, Luke doesn't post enough content. Oh, fuck you. Okay, I was going to not read this one. So, yeah, I asked you guys to give me some fun facts for the Fun Factathon. Andy's come in with a jab at the lack of content I post. And I'm going to say after that one, do not sound the fun fact horn. Because that wasn't a fun fact. It was spot on. I've been posting a lack of content lately, but when I announced this thing on Thursday, I hope it justifies why a bit. Anyway, Max Phillips, here's an actual fun fact. Fun fact, heart attacks are more likely to happen on a Monday. That is very fun, only because this podcast is every Monday, and I'm living on the edge. I come out every Monday, I do this at risk of a cardiac arrest. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I mean, you really, like, I got walked in laughing by myself pissing all week. Heart attack on a Monday is the least of my problems. Sound the bicycle horn. That was a cute little horn, wasn't it? Alright, the next one is from Jordan Beck. Let's continue the fun factathon. Boop, 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 boop. That was my own horn. That was a verbal horn. Oh, by the way, I think now we should get some music happening in the background. Some fun fiesta music, a bit of a, let's make this a fun fact bonanza. Yeah, let's get to, I like that. You see, that's better for fiesta music. Alright, let's continue the fun factathon. Jordan Beck said, New Zealand, a country with the highest suicide rate in the Western world, just re-elected the same party who cut funding to the suicide prevention services. Now that is a very fun fact from New Zealand. Sound the fun fact horn. Oh, that's it. What is that serious? If that's an actual, I mean, these are facts, so it is. That's retarded, man. So it's a country with one of the highest suicide rates, and dickheads re-elected the same party. They probably only did it because it was going to be a great fact. This one is from Ulfa. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your last name. It sounds Russian. He said, North Korean children are required to bring their own desks and chairs to school. Now that is proper oppression. That is like, imagine being on the bus. Being on the bus and you're trying to fit, you're trying to touch on, but you got your desk in your hand. You got your desk under one hand, and you've got your chair strapped to your backpack, and your mum's like, bye, and you're trying to get, why don't they supply desks and chairs to school? Like, what are you doing, Kim Jong-un? You've got nuclear weapons pointed at half the free world, but you've got 8-year-olds carrying a desk to school and a chair on a bus. That's so fucked up, but very fun. That was a very good fact. I like that one. Do you reckon they have to like take a school to school as well? Like they've just got to rock up with a classroom so they can learn. Dude, if I had to take a desk and chair to school, I don't like getting educated as it is. If I had to rock up with a desk, no way would I go. I barely bought my pencil case to class, let alone a desk. Like, I used to be like the guys like, oh bro, can I borrow a pen? I was the worst guy to be around. I still am. Not because of pen reasons. Now I'm just a shit bloke. Because I hold fun factathons because I think it's fun. Although you guys all listen to it and probably enjoying it. So, anyway, let's bring up back the Fiesta music. This next one coming from... Oh, wait, how many fun facts have I got so far? Because how much money have I raised for myself? 1... I'm not going to count Andy's. 2, 3, 4. Alright, $4 going towards my next iPhone. To make it $5, this is from Bridget. You can get vitamin A poisoning from eating a polar bear's liver. Let's just sound a little horn for that one, because it's a bit fun. But, you know, it would have been funner if you got a fact about someone actually getting vitamin A poisoning from eating a polar bear's liver. Because not only would they die, but it means the polar bear would probably also die without a liver. So that would be quite joyous. This next one's from Caitlin to make it $6. This iPhone is, I can already feel it. I can already feel my rage in the Apple Store as I go in and drop this fun fact cash on the iPhone X. This one's from Caitlin. Oh, this one's real fun. Actually, strap in, everyone. This is probably... You know what? I might leave Caitlin's to be the last fun fact in the Fun Factathon, because I think it's an absolute perler. So we'll move on to the next one. Felix has gone... Most of what we know about hypothermia comes from findings of human experiments done by the Nazis. Now, that's an absolute perler. I mean, you would have had some real chilly Jews there. See, God, I'm going to fucking hell, aren't I? Like, heaven's not even an option. I'm not religious. I'm an atheist, but I'm still going to hell. That was a good one. This is the second last one in the Fun Factathon, because if I keep reading these out, the further and further we all go into an oblivion. It's like below hell. I don't know what we're going to, but it's not going to be nice. But it's going to be fun. Like, it's going to be a bit of a shit place, but very knowledgeable. So that's one thing we can all expect in the afterlife. Alright, this is the last one from Caitlin. I decided... Yeah, I realized there's only one more. Alright, this one is from Carla. This is going to wrap up the Fun Factathon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bring back the Fiesta music again. Let's get it going for the final fun fact. Thank you very much for submitting it. Caitlin, here we go. Turn the fun Fiesta music down now. In 1982, over 16,000 aborted fetuses were recovered from a shipping container in a man's backyard in Los Angeles. 16,000. Like, where did they put all the coat hangers? I didn't want to say it for this one. If I say it, I go to hell. But if I don't say it, we can't finish the Fun Factathon. Sound the fun fact horn! Woo! Holy shit. Alright, that's the end of the Fun Factathon. I hope you guys liked it. I think we raised about $8 or $9 for my next iPhone. What a good cause. What a charitable thing I just did. I'm a nice person. No one think anything otherwise. Now, before we end the podcast this week, let's do some questions. You know what? They're not even questions anymore. They're just emails. Like, I used to call them questions, but most people just email me random shit. They're not asking me anything. Most things I get sent are just people correcting me about shit that I said that was incorrect on the podcast. Like, I think a couple of weeks ago, I need to apologize about this. I got about 10 messages from people. I said, I sang When I Was a Young Warthog, and I said it was from I Just Can't Wait to Be King in The Lion King. That quote is from the start of Hakuna Matata, and people got angry about it. What do you expect? Like, honestly, you listen to this podcast every week. I looked at a Peugeot this week and just went, Peugeot, no, wait, I know that now, it's Peugeot. Like, I still thought it. Like, I'm still a dickhead. I know what people expect from me. Like, the fact that I got the movie right, I was impressed with. I'm pretty sure I said it was a Timon and Pumbaa quote. No, Timon. Is that his name? So now I'm doubting that. Yeah, it is. Whatever, alright? So people are just correcting me shit. That's all my email is these days. But if you want to correct something I said in this podcast, it is luke.kidgell@gmail.com. Have at it, you savages. This one comes in from Joshua saying, I saw some basic white girl at a Starbucks with a muff, so I slapped the shit out of it, and now I'm banned from Starbucks. Anyway, I love the podcast, Josh. Did you check to see if the muff was cheeky, or did you see her with a well-behaved muff commit an illegal muff assault and then get banned? I hope you checked to see if that muff was cheeky, man, or otherwise that's just downright disrespectful to a good muff. Hope you checked. I can't be out there policing every single muff slap, so I hope you guys are doing. It's really an honesty system. If you think that muff was being cheeky, give it a darn good slap. It deserves it. But if you truly, in your heart, wholeheartedly believe that that muff is innocent and is ready to be consumed without being slapped, then you don't slap that bad boy. Refrain, okay? So don't just go around slapping random muff. This isn't a big slap party, all right? This isn't a big see a muff, slap a muff. That's not what this is. This is just a man trying to enforce well-behaved muffins in society. Is that so hard to ask? Thank you for your correspondence, Josh. I hope the muff was not cheeky. If you just started listening to this podcast in this episode, you're going to be really confused, but I'm not going to explain that shit meme. The next email comes in from Liam. Again, not a question, just an email. I'm assuming it's correcting something I said. Hey Luke, just a little short and simple correspondence for the podcast. So a couple of weeks back, I remember you were talking about how matches are basically mini versions of fire-breathing dragons. Yes, that was more than that was about 10 weeks ago now. Yeah, I did say matches are mini dragons. Deal with it. And I stand by that. Think about it. You light a match, it goes on fire. You light a dragon, it breathes fire. It's the same shit, alright? So this recently got me thinking, does this make cloth pegs mini crocodiles? Yeah, 100%. He said, especially the green ones. This is a pretty pointless submission, but it got me thinking. Anyway, thanks, Liam. No, that's not a pointless submission. That's what I call groundbreaking and thought-provoking content that you're bringing to the podcast. So thank you very much. I agree with you. Yeah, mini pegs are crocodiles. So make sure next time you're hanging your washing, don't use those saltwater pegs because they're dangerous and they can kill people. Use the freshwater pegs because you can swim with them and they'll be fine. Like freshwater, the pegs are the ones they keep at zoos. Saltwater pegs are the ones that Steve Irwin used to jump on. And then in the end, Steve Irwin ended up jumping on an envelope opener, which is of course Stingray, and that didn't work out too well for him. So also, does that mean that straws are those like little telescope things? See, now you've opened up a whole thing where household objects are now animals, and I don't know where to go with it. I think we just end it there. Thank you very much for the correspondence, Liam. Very thought provoking. I loved it. Now, next one is from Hadley. Now, this one's an update from a question that happened a couple of weeks ago, I think. It said, "Hello, Luke. This is Hadley, the genderless unicorn from a question mentioned in one of your podcasts. To answer your question, I'm a girl and my friend has moved on." I remember this, so I was confused. So what Hadley originally messaged about was one of her friends went on a trip to Europe and she was giving love advice. Then the guy who she was in love with said, "Hey, I'm not really into your friend." And then she just memed me at the end. She said, "He left my friend upset, but I need your help letting my friend know that he doesn't own her." And then she just said, "You don't own me." And then she didn't really ask a question. She just ended up meming me with my own meme. So what's your update? Also, I'm sorry I memed you in that question. I have another question, but I will not meme you this time. Alright, so there was no update. She said, "I will soon be participating in my 4th year of track and field, and it will be my 1st year on the varsity team. I run distance, and my events are usually the relay races. Do you have any tips I could use for the new season?" What does varsity? That's so American, man. I'm on the varsity team. What does varsity mean? Varsity meaning. What is I'm from Australia, so I don't know what varsity means. It means Oh, it just means you're on the university team. Okay, cool. You're representing a college at school. All right, so it just means you're on the school team. In Australia, we don't call it that. We just say, yeah, I'm going to uni games. We're going up to the Gold Coast to get fucking blind. No one really cares about the sport. Everyone just goes to get pissed. So we don't really do school sport in Australia. So you're on the varsity team and you're running track and field. Well, when I used to do running, I'm assuming you're emailing this because you know I used to do running. My advice would be train. If you want to do well, just train, get up every day, go for a run. Try and look up, like, whatever distance you're doing. Say if you're doing 800, look up a middle distance training plan. If you're doing sprinting, look up a training plan and try and stick to it. Another advice will be train with other members in your team. And this is, advice for anyone getting fit. It's just better to train with other people. I think it's more motivating. Like when I used to be peak fitness, I used to run with people all the time. Just, you all motivate each other to do better. You then motivate yourself to run faster because you want to push yourself. And if you're doing it with friends, it makes it more fun. So I don't want to bore everyone with athletics advice, but my advice for your relays would be to train with friends. And I think it makes it more fun. Also, if it's a relay, make sure you practice the passover of the baton. Because even still people fuck it in the Olympics, man. I don't get that. They get to an Olympic level and they drop the baton. I mean, it might be under pressure, whatever, but practice the changeover no matter what race you're doing. Because people always seem to stuff that up. I don't think I've ever dropped one before. I've dropped one in practice. Never dropped one in a race before. But good luck for your season, Hadley. And let me know how you go in athletics. Also, let me know what distance you're doing. I can give you way better advice. So, this next one, I'm going to do, let's do one more. Okay. Two more. Let's just do it quickly. No, one more. I'll do the next one next week. Okay. This one is from Taylor. Hey, Luke. Just listen to chapter 51 of Cave Drawings of a Low Melanin Hominoid with genitalia outside their body. And you made a comment that only people in New South Wales say palmy. And you're wrong, mate. South Australians say palmy as well. Also, the first time you said Parma on your podcast, I had no idea what you were talking about until you described what a Parmigiana is. Keep up the good work and fuck Google Home. Wow. Really? No way. Victorians are not the only ones who say Parma. We're going to have to set up a poll. All right, this week in the Facebook group, can we set up a poll? Like, let's do what? I don't know how we're going to do it. Let's just set up a poll of what's correct. Palmy or Parma. Let's decide this once and for all. How do you say Parmigiana? I mean, I'm never going to stop saying Parma, but I just want to see what people think. Maybe we could do like, I don't know, let's work at a poll. If you can do like South Australia and you say Palmy, whatever. I don't know how we're going to do it. Can someone set up a poll in the Facebook group when you hear this? Check if there's one already. But if you're the first one to hear this, set up a Facebook poll and let's decide this once and for all. Is it Palmy or Parma? Please to God, I'm sick of having this conversation on this podcast. And also, it's Parma. You guys are just wrong. South Australians and New South Wales people are wrong. We're right. So, prove me wrong during the week. Let's decide it once and for all. You're all fucking wrong. It's Parma. What's a palmy? A palmy sounds like, I don't know, like what a little kid would call a palm tree. Like, oh, mum, look at the palmy. No, a palmer is just what you order at a pub. All right, anyway, that brings us to the end of memoirs. What was it this week? It was audio hieroglyphics of a milky skinned gent. Thank you all very much for listening, and I'm very excited to announce this big thing on Thursday. I hope you guys will get around it. So what will happen actually is there'll be a podcast coming out on Thursday of me explaining the big thing, because especially if you listen to this podcast, I really think you'll like it, and I'm really want you guys to get around it. It's not a thing that you have to buy anything. It's not a show or anything. There's nothing you have to really do other than it might be some new content that hopefully you guys will really enjoy. And I'm super excited about it. It's been months and months in the planning. I don't want to give too much away. It's pretty much my dream job, my dream situation. So I'm super pumped about it, and I hope you guys will be too. But until Thursday, that's it from me. So I'll see you guys Thursday with the big announcement. Have a good one.